Here are the events that comprise Jesus' second coming. Now, to do this, we're going to use a map so you can kind of get a feel for where these things are taking place. Hope you're not afraid of heights. I mean, pretend like you're coming through the clouds with Jesus to the Holy Land. That's where we're all headed at the second coming. Okay, so this is a map of the Holy Land. Mediterranean Sea to the west, the Sea of Galilee up in the northeastern part flows, the Jordan River flows out of the Sea of Galilee and empties into the Dead Sea to the south, the nation of Israel. Okay. When Jesus returns, he will return to the Mount of Olives. Where is the Mount of Olives? The Mount of Olives is in southern Israel, and it overlooks the city of Jerusalem. The Mount of Olives is essentially a small mountain that overlooks the city of Jerusalem. In fact, when we go, we always go to the Mount of Olives for a picture. We have our group picture on the Mount of Olives because it overlooks such a beautiful picture of the city of Jerusalem in the background. So Jesus is going to return to the Mount of Olives to deliver Jerusalem. Where do we get this? Zechariah 14, verse 3. Then the Lord will go out and fight against those nations as he fights on a day of battle. On that day, his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem. And the Mount of Olives will be split in two from east to west, forming a great valley, with half of the mountain moving north and half moving south. So Zechariah describes how Jesus is going to return. When Jerusalem falls, Jesus will return to the Mount of Olives to deliver Jerusalem from its captors. Now, Jesus' return to the Mount of Olives fits with the prophecy in Acts chapter 1. Y'all remember this? Acts chapter 1, Jesus is on the Mount of Olives and he ascends into heaven. And all those watching him are just watching Jesus ascend into heaven. And then two angels appear. You remember this? Two angels appear. And what do they say? They say, the same way you've seen Jesus leave, he will come again. And they were on the Mount of Olives. So Jesus returns to the Mount of Olives to deliver Jerusalem from its captors. Okay, the second event that comprises Jesus' second coming might sound a little surprising. Jesus saves those in a place called Bozrah. Now, where is Bozrah? So let's zoom back out on our map so you can get your bearings. Got the Dead Sea to the south of Israel. Bozrah is actually in the wilderness in a mountainous area in what is today southern Jordan. Okay, let me read to you from Isaiah chapter 63. This is one passage of several that speaks of Jesus' campaign in this place called Bozrah as part of his second coming. Isaiah 63, I'll just read the first verse. Who is this coming from Edom, from Bozrah, with his garments stained crimson? Who is this, robed in splendor, striding forward in the greatness of his strength? It is I, proclaiming victory, mighty to save. This and other scriptures speak of Jesus visiting Bozrah as part of his second coming to deliver, to save those, to rescue those who are there. Okay, so the obvious question is, who's there that needs saving? Why would Jesus leave Israel and go to South Jordan as part of his second coming? Okay, this is where the speculation begins, okay? There's no biblical evidence for this, but I'm just sharing with you what many speculate to be the case. Many speculate that midway through the tribulation period, when the Antichrist defiles the temple, and Jews flee Jerusalem and they go to the wilderness. They flee into the mountains where they are cared for 3.5 years. Many people believe that Bozrah is the place they go to, specifically a place called Petra there. A place called Bozrah. So Jesus, as part of his second coming, they claim, goes to Bozrah to deliver those Jews that fled Jerusalem. As I said, that's speculation, but it would seem to make some sense. Okay, so Jesus goes to the Mount of Olives. He delivers Jerusalem. He goes to Bozrah, he rescues those who are there, and the third component of Jesus' second coming is perhaps the one that we're most familiar with. Jesus defeats the Antichrist and his allies at a place called Armageddon. Okay, now where's Armageddon? Let's go back out to this is Israel. You've got the Dead Sea to the south, Sea of Galilee to the north. The plains of Megiddo are located in the northern part of Israel, the valley of Armageddon. And that is where Revelation 16 says the Antichrist will assemble the armies of the world together. Those of you who have been to that valley can see it. It is an enormous valley, the Jezreel Valley, the valley of Armageddon. And all of the armies of the world will assemble there in those plains. Now, I want to read to you what happens here. It's found in Revelation chapter 19. I'm going to read it to you, then I want to make a couple of observations. Revelation chapter 19, verse 19. John, the Revelator, says this. Then I saw the beast. Who's that? That's the Antichrist. Then I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to wage war against the rider on the horse, that's Jesus, and his army, that's us, believers. But the beast, the Antichrist, was captured, and with it the false prophet who had performed the signs on its behalf. With these signs, he had deluded those who had received the mark of the beast and worshiped its image. The two of them, the Antichrist and the false prophet, were thrown alive into the fiery lake of burning sulfur. The rest, who are the rest? The rest of the armies gathered there, the rest were killed with the sword coming out of the mouth of the rider on the horse. And all the birds gorged themselves on their flesh. Okay, a couple of observations about this. Two, number one, we're going to be there, but it doesn't appear we're going to have much to do. It appears that we are kind of bystanders. We're observers of what's happening here. The second observation is this appears to be over very quickly. John describes how something like a sword coming from Jesus' mouth will destroy, devastate all the armies gathered there in that valley. It's almost like Jesus speaks and the battle is over. After Jesus defeats the armies gathered against him in the valley of Armageddon, that's when Jesus binds Satan and begins to reign on earth shortly thereafter for 1,000 years. Thank you for watching this video on First Redeemer's YouTube channel. If you enjoyed it, click like below and leave us a comment. And if you'd like more content like this, click subscribe and turn on your notifications. Thanks again for watching.